Hey everybody, Margo Lovett, her business, her voice, her conversation, back with you. I want to share some information. So much has gone on since the last time I've had a communication with you. I'll bet, first of all, you've been over on Verkay Radio, and I hope that you have been. And you probably noticed, man, Margo is not there. What's going on? Hey, I'm still holding it down. I'm still a podcaster consistently every week, bringing you a brand new show. I just flew out of the big nest and I'm no longer on Verkay Radio. I'm coming from my own podcast, margolovett.com. And, it's a building process. So to make it easy for you, go over to margolovett.com. You'll find me there. And probably next week, I'll have links to iTunes. I'll have a link to Spotify. I'll have a link to iHeartRadio. I will have a link to Pandora. Yeah, we're on Pandora already. Radio Public, Spotify. And to coming up will be SoundCloud and Stitcher. I'll have them up in the next 3 weeks. I'm telling you all that to say go over to my website because I'll have these dedicated links and you just click on one and it will take you right over to the show or myriad shows. We imported 2 seasons already. So a lot of work going on. Go over to margolovett.com. You can listen right there. And then when I get the buttons installed, then you can go over to iTunes and actually subscribe. Spotify, any of those platforms and subscribe. You can do that now if you like to. I just don't have the buttons in place so that it makes it easy for you, and I want to make it easy. When it happens though, boy oh boy, you're not going to hear the end of it. Go over there and subscribe. And you'll want to because each year the show gets stronger and stronger and stronger. We are coming up on year 3. Yes, for her business, her voice, her conversation. I'm charting out the growth. And that's one thing that made me think it's time to switch things out a little bit. And it was a daring chance. It was a big chance that I took to move away from Verkay Radio. Huge chance that I would lose a lot of you. And I did. But in the long run, it was a good move for the station. Things are coming down the pipe as far as the podcast industry goes, and I just want to be in step with everything that's going on. So I had to take that big quantum leap and go for it so that I can build out and meet some goals and some quotas and some things that I want to meet, some things that I want her business, her voice, her conversation to be about. So we didn't stop broadcasting. We didn't stop putting out some good shows. And, if you haven't been with us, and really and truly, I was quite negligent in letting you know what's going on. So, excuse me, I am so sorry about that. So, that means one thing: you can binge listen. Yes, binge listen, because I had some awesome people on already. I think we have 5 shows up, maybe even more. It's all a blur. Everything's been happening so very, very fast. But we have good shows up, no reruns. When we left Verkay, we kept recording, and new shows are there. Information, how to, and this year in 2020, we're going in giving you more how to's. Still, in reinventing yourself. Oh yeah, you're always going to hear from those folks that have reinvented themselves and how they did it. But I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the how to, and of course there'll always be the inspiration and general information for you. I want to give you some more during the 2020. I plan to give you information about the podcast industry. I read every day. I listen every day, and there's so much going on. And if you decide to become a podcaster, I want you to know, keep you up, give you a little news brief every once in a while about what's going on in this ever evolving world of podcasting. And should you decide to advertise and sponsor episodes, and listen, I believe that if you have a business, a product, a book, you need to really seriously look towards moving into podcasting. If you don't want to become a podcaster, then get with someone such as myself, become a sponsor. Sponsor your own episode. That gives you traction, that gives you visibility, and you do it consistently. Before you know it, people are going to be calling you. Other podcasters are going to refer you to other shows. So you really want to get that snowball domino effect going, and you don't want to sleep on podcasting. Let me tell you, there's so much going on. You want to be in there sponsoring your own show so that there aren't any other advertisements. You are the show. How priceless is that? It's priceless. It really is. And it's not, it will never be a one hit wonder. When you sponsor a show, then you always are able to dice that thing up and to turn it into a commercial or a myriad of things. I'm working on a class where I can teach you what to do, how to repurpose your podcast. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's not doing it though. So, and I'm taking a page from my own playbook, and next month in November, each and every week will be an excerpt from my book, Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention. Here it is right here, the cover right here, and you can purchase your copy over on my website, margolovett.com. But when I wrote the book, I came up with some pointers, some very important things that I thought you need to know about so that the reinvention process, some of the things that you do and you should do, they make sense to you. They're applicable. Some things I didn't think about until after I was headlong into the process. But I'm going to share with you all of November those steps that I outlined in the book. And in December, we are going to play, oh my goodness, and it's hard, but I'm going to play some of my favorite podcasts. Not podcasts, but my episodes. And I will, next week, hopefully, I will have a message type of machine on my website, something that where you can go, and I want you to communicate with me. Tell me what your favorite show is. I get enough people chiming in that I'll play those shows. If I don't hear from you, I'm playing my favorite ones, but I'm asking you to, come on over to my website and leave a message. Let me know what your favorite is. You can't come today. I'll have it up in a couple of days. I know by next week for certain. So just letting you know about how we're reaching and how we're stretching and the things that we are implementing. All right. So November is taking a look at the tips that I give in my book. And when that book was written, from that point up until this point, I have learned so much. So don't say, oh, I bought the book and it doesn't matter. I already know what she's going to say. Honey, I have some icing to put on that cake. And I'm going to be very transparent. I'm going to teach you the things that I know are important. I'll give you the why, the how to. And you come away with your own conclusions and you decide what you're going to do. Most of us are in the process of getting ready for planning for 2020. So I want to impart as much information to you as I can so that some things you thought of, some things you didn't think of, here I am. Reinvented one, able to serve you. All right? Let's see. What else? What else? What else? Oh, some of you have been over on my page and you understand that now that girl is talking about goblets and she's talking about teacups and she's talking about this and that. Pretty girl, what is all of that about? I am still extending my brand. I'm still in the pocket with Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Let me tell you a quick story. This teacup right here, I bought that teacup for my mom. I bought it for her one Christmas because she was a proper lady from a sporting family and they like nice things, used to china and used to crystal and all of those things that make your beverages just tastes so much better. Seems like the ice is just colder in a beautiful crystal glass, and the coffee just sips a lot smoother when it's coming from fine china. And we had a chance to experience that as kids. And when you grow up, I think that you just kind of get away from it, and what does it really matter? But after I wrote my book and I got to the section about celebration and that type of thing, it came back to me the fact that I bought mom this cup for her coffee. She was a coffee snob too. I bought this for her, and it was a celebration of her moving to California. It was a celebration of her getting up every day and sipping on her coffee at the kitchen table. That mug, this mug, symbolizes many a memory. And I thought about how cups, goblets, even the saucers that match our teacups, they all hold our stories because we have them in our hands while we are experiencing the joys and the pains, the changes, the coming in of the tide, the going out of the tide. The mug, the teacup, the goblet, they should always be and always are our go to drinkware. So that's the story behind why I think that it's a good idea for you to gift this holiday season someone. And I say someone who has everything, but it doesn't have to be someone who has everything. A person that wants to have drinkware that also holds their secrets, holds their memories, holds their wishes. It's theirs and theirs alone. And when my mom would pick up her teacup, she positioned herself in a certain way. It set the tone for her day. And when I get my pretty girl cup, my pretty girl goblet out, I'm thinking about something. I'm trying to get to the bottom of something. It's just me time. I'm just relaxing, but I'm holding on to that dedicated piece of glassware. And it takes on one more memory, one more meaning, and that's the story behind Pretty Girl Drinkware. So think about it. I will launch a luxury line on November the 11th. You'll have to go over to my website, margolovett.com. Pictures will be there, and I will probably do something live also. I know that this is something that people are looking forward to because I recently gifted two of them. One went to a raffle that we had for the Black Women's Network, and it was a goblet, a saucer, and a cup. And you'll notice that when people are giving away goblets and mugs and stuff like that, it has their logo on them. And I'm going to get some. I am going to go ahead and make sure that I have Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation mugs. But all of us are different. And I thought about the femininity that would be in the room at the Black Women's Network. So I chose a crystal goblet. I chose a very feminine teacup and had the matching saucer. Boxed it so that the presentation, which is everything, was impeccable. And that's what I'm proposing that you give away this holiday season to yourself, first of all, and then to someone else that needs to or does enjoy me time. It enjoys contemplation time, meditation time, relaxation time, or just top of the morning. Everybody, your girl is up and all about it. It just all depends. I'll be back next week. I'm going to tell you and show you some goblets that I have. We're leading up to the November 11th luxury reveal. But I just wanted everybody to understand what it's all about, Pretty Girl is all about, because I didn't want anybody thinking that I'm on a tangent. I moved away from podcasting, not at all, and never. But this is an extension of a part of my book, and it's all about self care. It's all about celebration. So, there you have a brief explanation and oh, I didn't tell you about this week's show. Oh my God. This week's show on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation is a conversation that I had with Susan L. Taylor. You'll know her from Essence Magazine, the pretty dignified, oh my goodness, got it going on, editor in chief for 25 years, and the lady hasn't missed a stride. She's gracious. She's now an advocate for education. Her business model is being copied and duplicated, replicated across the globe. And what she has to say about education is quite noteworthy. So you'll want to be sure to go over to my website and go over to podcasting. The drop down is there. We're going to change that all out also. I'm not going to give you just a regular old player. We're going to change that out. But in the meantime, you can go over there and do tell me what you think about my conversation with Miss Susan L. Taylor. Insightful and amazing. I bring these kinds of conversations because I want us to understand who's speaking and advocating for us these days, Black women and children, and yes, girls. So, I've given you a mouthful. It's about 16 minutes. Thank you for indulging me. I promise these clips will not be as long always. I'm just trying to get everything in, explain where we've been, explain where you can find us, explain this week's show, and explain what the Pretty Girl Cup goblet mug is all about. And why you should really seriously think about purchasing one for yourself and for somebody else. I'm Margo Lovett. Her business, her voice, her conversation. I'll be back next week. Bye bye.